Captain, Cap, can you hear me? On your left.
Sam? Is that you? Not exactly. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation, where I review action figures and then articulate 5 points to help you decide if you want to add that figure to your collection. The 5 points I discuss are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and if you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube rigmarole. Today, we're taking a look at two very different versions of my favorite Robin, Tim Drake. Both of them are available right now, but which one is the better bang for your buck? Starting off with the packaging, and at a glance, they're pretty similar. The only real difference is on the front, one of them says Robin, and the other one offers bottomless french fries. As we can see, Red Robin is from the New 52, and regular old Robin is from Gotham Knights. The box also has a Gotham Knights logo. If you'd like the barcode for Gotham Knights Robin, here you go, and here's the barcode for Red Robin. As has unfortunately become all too common, the biggest difference is the back. The Gotham Knights version is a very well-composed image. It's got a city and rain and a creepy Matrix-like green tint. Meanwhile, Red Robin is a boring digital render, and for some reason they have his wings making him look like a dragonfly. And it's weird because the original solicitation image was awesome, and for the life of me, I cannot understand why they wouldn't use it after going through all the trouble of making it. For packaging, this round goes to Gotham Knights. Moving on to presentation, a Gotham Knights Robin stands at just over 6.5 inches, and Red Robin stands at 6 3/4. There are obviously a lot of notable differences between these two, but the biggest is the source material that they are based on. This figure is inspired by the artwork of the New 52 comic books, and this one is based on the Gotham Knights video game and therefore shares its aesthetic. As I like to call it, hoodie chic. Despite their differences, both of them have a domino mask. This one unfortunately has side-eye, but you just know that he probably has side-eye underneath. They both have black hair, but Red Robin has a nice blue wash to bring out all the detail compared to the Gotham Knights, and that's a nice touch. One thing I appreciate is that the paint around his eyes is a different shade of black. It really helps with the illusion that this is somebody wearing a mask. To be honest, there's a lot of great paint detailing on this figure. We've got all these bits of gray and black. Of course, we've got the Robin logo and the yellow stripes. A little bit of paint slop on mine, but very hard to tell unless you're zooming in. There's some black punched into his gauntlets, and some black straps on his boots. Even the back of his hoodie is nice and crisp. To be honest, this is some of the best paint detailing I've seen on a DC Multiverse figure. Even the side-eye isn't too bad. Of course, I don't really understand the point of fingerless gloves when you're trying to be an anonymous superhero, but hey, I guess we do give Superman a pass. Coupled with the paintwork is a lot of great texture. We've got this mesh detailing on the coat, some leather accents, and a leathery look for the pants. The figure also benefits from having a rubber overlay instead of a diaphragm joint. That said, you'll have to wait till the next category to find out how it affects articulation. Red Robin has a diaphragm joint, but it's nicely hidden by this harness. As you can see, it very strongly resembles Batman's capsule belt. He's also got them on the arms. Not really a lot of texture to speak of on this one, but that makes sense because this is based off of a comic book design. Zooming in though, and you can see the Red Robin logo on the harness, here on the left shoulder, and also on the belt. Clearly, if there's one thing that Tim learned from Batman, it is branding. I really like the simple black, red, and yellow color scheme. That said, I do wish that the red was as vivid down here as it is up here, where you can see all the pouches of his utility belt. That's one thing that's conspicuously absent from Gotham Knights. The other thing that's conspicuously absent from this version of Robin is a cape. He does have this kind of mud flap in the back, but I refuse to consider that a cape. Everyone knows Tim Drake wears a long black cape with a yellow liner. You know, unless he's got giant red wings like the Falcon. Truth be told, this is one aspect of the design I never really cared for. That said, McFarlane has done an adequate job of bringing it to life. One thing I will say is that the more time I spend with this figure, the more this wing starts to droop. Obviously, I would have preferred his 90s comic book look, but neither of these are bad. Both figures do a great job of representing their respective source material. So good, in fact, that this round could easily be a draw. But as I contemplate the realism, the extra sculpted detail, and also the additional paint apps, the choice is clear. For presentation, this round goes to Gotham Knights. Moving on to posability, and there are a lot of similarities between the two, but also a couple of notable differences. For on the top, and both figures' heads are on dumbbell joints. They can look up this much, Gotham Knights a little bit more. This far down, pretty much even. Pretty similar tilt. and all the way around. Both figures have swivel hinge elbows that raise 90 degrees. Both of them have rotator cuffs. In this figure's case, it doesn't really make much of a difference. In fact, I had to pull his arm out just to find it. Both of them have bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and pretty well integrated McFarlane wrist balls that swivel and hinge. Shifting the torso is the first major difference between the two. Like most DC Multiverse figures, Red Robin has a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist. He can hunch over this far and arch back this far. He also gets a bit of tilt and twist. Gotham Knights, on the other hand, has a rubber overlay. He can hunch over this far and honestly a decent amount back. He even gets a pretty fair amount of tilt and twist at the waist. The nice thing is that he can really hold the pose. Below the waist, both figures have typical McFarlane hips and can do a perfect split. They can also kick forward this far. Gotham Knights Robin has a great amount of twist in the hip. Red Robin, not so much. Both of them have double jointed knees, toe articulation, and McFarlane ankle balls that do all the McFarlane ankle ball things. Red Robin, however, has two additional points of articulation, his wings. Similar to Batman Beyond, and they hinge up and down like so. There's a respectable range of motion in each one of these figures. Red Robin, however, benefits from a more functional rotator cuff, the lack of a long shirt limiting his leg range, and of course the addition of articulated wings. For posability, this round goes to Red Robin. Yum. You know I had to do it at least once. Moving on to playability, and each one comes with a trading card and a figure stand. The difference is that one of those trading cards looks really cool, and the other one looks like this. If you want to read the Gotham Knights one, pause here, and if you want to read the Red Robin one, pause here. Additionally, each one comes with Tim Drake's iconic quarterstaff. There's some nice texture on the handle of the Gotham Knights version. It's also painted separately from the rest of the staff. Speaking of painted detail, there's some glowy green bits at the tips. By contrast, the Red Robin one is just a simple silver staff. It has some segments sculpted in, but no real texture to speak of. Gotham Knights holds his staff like so, and Red Robin holds his like so. Between the two of them, this one looks like he has a quarterstaff, and this one looks like he killed Mr. Body in the drawing room. But playability is more than just accessories, it's also about how well your figure plays with others. For the very first comic book Tim Drake figure ever made, here we have Told Justice by Kenner. Here we have the 2003 version by Mattel. This is actually my favorite Tim Drake figure in my collection. Here we have the DC Universe Classics version. As we can see here, he's starting to transform into his Red Robin persona. And on that subject, we've got this one by DC Collectibles. To my knowledge, this is the only other figure based on that costume. As you can see, the red's a lot more vivid, and there's a lot more paint detailing on the wings. Lastly, we have this one made by Mattel not long before they lost the license to McFarlane. And speaking of Mattel Robins, here's Damian by Mattel, and here's Damian by McFarlane. Despite the cartoonish features, he definitely scales better with Red Robin, but for one more McFarlane Robin, and here we have Carrie Kelly from The Dark Knight Returns. Moving on to other members of the Bat family, and here we have Nightwing from DC Essentials, and here we have the Greg Capullo version. Red Robins all around. And speaking of Red Robins, here we have the Red Hood. This one, of course, is from DC Essentials. Lots of red in the Bat family. Batman Beyond, for example. I put him in there because of the similar wing system. Here we have Batgirl from DC Essentials. Definitely too short for these two. And here we have Art of the Crime. In general, she's a bit too tall, but I do think she scales pretty well with these two. For the heart and soul of the Bat family, here we have Alfred. But for the head of the house, here we have Batman. This one is from Detective Comics 1000. This one is the Target exclusive Bowel Damage version. Here we have 3 Jokers. I think these ones scale best. Here we have Rebirth, who's definitely too short. Here we have Battinson. I think you could probably put him and Gotham Knights together. And here we have Batfleck. For some other DC video game characters, and here we have Dr. Fate from Injustice 2. Here we have Green Arrow, also from Injustice 2. Here we have Deathstroke from Arkham Origins. And here we have Joker from Mortal Kombat 11. For another Joker, here's the 3 Jokers comedian. And here's my Kit Bash combining the clown with Death of the Family. Since he's handy from my last video, and because Gotham Knights Robin looks like something out of the CW, here they are with the Grant Gustin Flash. And here they are with Superboy Prime. Here they are with Connor Kent Superboy. This one's from DC Universe Classics. For a kinda sorta Teen Titan connection, here they are with the Snyder Cut version of Cyborg. And for the only other Teen Titan in my collection, here they are with Wonder Girl. This one was from Mattel as part of their Multiverse line. For a relative scale comparison, here they are with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And as always, here they are with Stealth Iron Man. Of course, one thing I know y'all love are head swaps. You might have to experiment with some pegs because the Gotham Knights head sits a bit too high, and the Red Robin head sits a bit too low. Additionally, the skin tones don't match. From a distance though, and it does feel a bit more comic book accurate, and to be honest, this doesn't look too bad either. Also, if any of you want to kit bash a more traditional Tim Drake Robin, the Red Robin head on the Three Jokers Red Hood body would be a pretty good start. And since it's a soft rubber, you could probably cut this logo out and glue it on the chest. And if you're curious, here it is with the Gotham Knight's head. And since I forgot to show them off during the main comparison part, here's how they scale as well. If you want to take it even further, may I suggest the arms and legs of Dawnbreaker. And yes, I bought the 2-pack just so I could do this kit bash on camera. If you do it, just be warned that the hips are a bit gappy. And just for a sense of scale, here he is with Three Jokers Batman. Also, just in the interest of transparency, I got this idea from a customizer I saw in a Facebook group, but I don't know who it was. If you know who it is, or if it's you yourself, please sound off in the comments below. While they've done a great job of recreating this version of Red Robin, it does come from a very brief period of the Teen Titans comic, and unfortunately, at the time of this recording, there aren't any other Teen Titans to go with him. Gotham Knights, on the other hand, could easily find a home on your comic book, live action, or video game shelf. For playability, this round goes to Gotham Knights. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. I found Gotham Knight Robin at Target for $19.99, and Red Robin was at GameStop for $24.99. Obviously, I would have liked to have paid $20 for both of them, and had I been a bit more patient, I probably could have. Red Robin, of course, has more plastic and engineering thanks to the wings, which does add a lot of value. That said, there are a lot more involved paint apps on Gotham Knight, which adds a lot of value as well. Even so, plastic and tooling does cost more than paint, so for price, this round goes to Red Robin, but the battle goes to Gotham Knight 3-2. For more Robin verses, check out this one on Carrie Kelly from The Dark Knight Returns, or this one on Damian. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice and have fun.